Hey, it's Don the Auction Professor here. Today we're going to talk about one specific item. We're going to talk about researching it, what to glean from it, price-wise, in the whole works. Now, this is just one single item. This is exactly the way I bought this. This is a CDV. I spent $15 on it, and I took a chance. I took a chance because on the back of it, it's just a standard CDV, 1880s, 1890s. It's got a bunch of information written on the back. It looks interesting. We're going to show you some close-ups here in a few moments here, but the back had some interesting information written, you know, in vintage-style writing, the whole works. It mentions some specific cities like Sapporo, and I know that city because I had a car that was called a Sapporo, and I actually looked it up. There was a city it was named after. There's actually a beer called Sapporo, and it comes from the area here. But we're going to go in depth a little bit here. I'm going to go to the screen in a few moments, and I'm going to show you what I did and, you know, how I turned this $15 item into at least a $300 or more historical piece of artifact, basically. This could sell as high as $500 at the end of the day just because of the provenance and the information gleaned from the back of this. So, but we're going to go over the screen and we're going to delve into how I found out what this was, you know, how I came to calculate a value on it, and what I'm going to do with this as well, too. So anyway, we'll cut over the screen and we'll talk about this item right now. Okay, now this is a close-up of the CDV in question here. Now, I found this, it was in a bunch of stuff, postcards and other mixed-in items. The person I got this from wanted $15 a piece for it, and I actually set this down when I first got it because it just didn't look too interesting at first, but I kept thinking about it and thinking about it. Had the gentleman sitting down had a samurai sword or something, I would have definitely got it right off the bat, without a question. But the hat, and it looks like he has a cigar in his hand, and the other gentleman next to him, I thought originally was like some kind of servant. By the way, he was dressed, he's barefoot. Just his whole features and, you know, the size of him and his structure just didn't look like a normal Japanese person, so I was puzzled by it. Now, if you look at the back here as well, it's got the writing on here. I can't make out the first word. It looks like A-U-N-U or something along that line. I looked for a bunch of things in Japan from the city Sapporo, which you see Sapporo down at the bottom on the back. And I couldn't, you know, find anything along the lines of this. Now, at the top, it has that A word, and then I got Katani, which turns out, I believe, is the gentleman's name. And then it's of, now I wasn't sure if it was Tokugawa or Fukugawa. And Tokugawa is like a ruling party. It goes back to the Meiji era. I took Japanese history in college for 4 months, so, you know, I have some basic knowledge. And it turns out Fukugawa is a city, so it's blank Katani of Fukugawa, and then I thought it said mit Japanese. Mit would be a German for with. Mit is with in German, so, but it could be that or it could be something else. Now, the top wording up to the second line there with the mit Japanese looks like it could even be in a different handwriting than the rest. So that was another assumption that I made. And then the next part is, I couldn't figure out ow, and then the name, but it turns out that first word is an, blank man with Japanese friend living near us. I know his wife. Her daughter was baptized by Mr. Batchelor in Sapporo many years ago. Now, Sapporo is on an island. I actually did a Google search on this, and this is how I found anything on it. On eBay, I didn't find Mr. Batchelor. I didn't find anything for Sapporo, Katani, Fukugawa, Tokugawa, any of those terms. So, but after I went to a quick Google search, as you see here on the screen, Mr. Batchelor, Sapporo, I come up with some terminology here. And after looking into this, it turns out this gentleman, I'm not going to go here and search on all these sites, but the Church of Sapporo, Mr. and Mrs. Handa and Child. Now, the Reverend Batchelor is mentioned in there, along with this word A-I-N-U, Anu. Now, Anu, now let's just show you. This is literally how I found it, and you can see John Batchelor. This is obviously all tied together. You know, everything on here. Sapporo's mentioned. I've looked up a map of this area too, and you can pretty much get a gist on it by looking at some of the maps from the area. There's Sapporo. You'd actually have to back out, but if you back out enough, you'll see that it's on an island. Let's just look at images here as well too. Well, that doesn't help much as well. Here we go. Here's the gentleman here. Here's some more of these Anu. You know, and then I get the gist of it right here. This looks similar. It's dressed similar to the gentleman here in the image. Something like this. And this actually, I believe, is possibly the same gentleman I have in my image. He's got a similar, very, very similar outfit on. He, facially wise, looks the same. It just looks like he's older. This is an older image of John Batchelor. He was from, I think he went in the 1880s over there. So that would fit from the first time he was here, this CDV that I have. So either way, I know I'm on the right line right off the bat. So from here, you know, you can look up the gentleman here. Here's another picture of him. He was well-renowned. He was the first one to actually translate the Christian Bible into this language, into Japanese in general over here. He is well-known. There's big study on him. There's many books on Google that actually cover Mr. Batchelor's Sapporo district, talk about when he got there. First visited in 1878. So that work was made in 1882. I mean, there's a bunch of information. He was the authority on this type of area and on this. They're basically an Aborigine tribe that just lives on this island here. It's a very specific one. He was a missionary. It was rather interesting history. So then after I found the history and realized that, yes, this person, these people, whoever wrote this information on the back, knew Mr. Batchelor. They were part of the missionary. I would 100% assume that at this point. There's no doubt. Why would they be over there in this area? They actually state that they live over in this area. They state that Sapporo's here, down in Batchelor and Sapporo many years ago. So, I mean, everything on here ties this to a missionary photo. It ties it to the 1880s by the construction, the writing, the comments on here. 1890s at the latest would be my guess, just by the looks of the image. So, again, everything is right on this image. It's a key thing. It's something I can tie down to a specific group. I can tie it down to a specific tribe, the Anu. I can tie it down to, obviously, the location and the city and the whole works all around here from this. So literally after that, I'm going to eBay, and I've got the term. So it's just a quick matter of typing in AINU, and this image here that turned out, you know, I didn't know what it was. I couldn't even possibly make out all the information on the back. I've got a positive ID. And this is something that people don't do a lot, so that's why, you know, you can score some items like this. You know, you might have to take a chance. I took a chance on $15 as just a regular image. You know, I'd probably gotten $50, $60 just as a regular image. Someone might have recognized this, and it might have went high, but, you know, there's no guarantee on that. I could have mislisted it, no title, not the correct title. The Anu is what is going to sell this. It's a very limited group of people. It's a small area. There's only 20-some-odd thousand of this tribe left. I'm not sure if tribe would be the correct term, so no offense meant at all. But it is like basically a group of people. They are what would be considered like a Native American here in this country. They are isolated. They're in a small number. It's rather interesting history. I read quite up on it. I spent, 30 or 40 minutes reading on this. No, I didn't have to do that. I just like doing stuff like this. This is where it comes into play that, you have to enjoy what you're doing. And if you enjoy what you're doing, this is something fun to do. It brings me back to researching things for college, and then back to my Japanese history class, because we touched on stuff, not necessarily this at all. I don't recall this at all. I pulled up my old book. I couldn't find any comments on this. There's not a lot of them around. But you can see, let's see, let's go down to where, that's actually all the images. Everything else is just, modern day stuff by them. But anything photo, real photos right here, the cheapest one is $300, the cheapest one. And this one's fairly interesting. These other ones don't have any information on the backs. They're just photos, if I remember right. Let's take a quick look at one of them, just to make sure that I'm finding the information. Is mounted onto closely cropped modern thin card. See, people even remount these, so just keep that in mind. You can have photos remounted, and people do that, though, damaged mount or something like that. But anyway, the photo's real. This one's quite interesting. They do have samurai swords, if you noticed on them. They are not samurais at all.
who knows what their rank or what their style is, but you can see the barefoot. That's the key. They're all decked out. So, you know, the swords could have been given to them just for the photo. It's hard to say, but there's nothing on the back. Mine has actual history. This one with 2 people, which mine has 2, I would say it's worth more than this. $333 this one went for, with no information, no way to tie it down to anything. So, you know, in this same here, there's nothing on the back of this one here. Somebody figured out what it was. They researched it. Now here's another one. So I'm going up in the value here because most of these other ones have no information on it. This is literally what I do to determine the value on something. I don't spend a lot of time though, so you know I'm quick on what I do. I'm taking my time here to go over this. It doesn't look like there's anything on the back either. Mounted on split card. I'm not sure what that split card is talking about. He only has the one image. So it's hard to say. I would have put 2. My guess is this is probably a newer one. Or even somebody could have cut up a stereo view would be my guess. Which happens. You'll see that occasionally. But this is a bad description. I just don't know what I'm really looking at. The scan is this. The scan of this image reflects its tones reasonably accurate. Storage number, mounted on split card. I just have to assume that this is a stereo view that's been cut. There's no other information. So anyway, the stamping's probably that. So this is a modern image from what I see right here. So again, there's no information, nothing on the back the way it looks at all. So you've got $375 on this one. So I'm still thinking this one's worth more, the one I have. And the only other one, other than this one with some mounted on a page without much information, let's actually look at this one, and let's look at this one. Again, this is literally what I do to price these. I'll tell you my price, what I'm going to list this as in just a minute here at the end. Let's see. This scan of this image reflects its tone. Mounted on card. Yeah, see, there is a heavy crease. Yeah, this is damaged beyond belief. Looks like the same person. Let me see here. These aren't great images. These are actually newer too. You can tell by the quality and the looks of the image. It's hard to say. These are just images mounted, and they've mounted paper. Some of them have damaged. It's not really a good lot of them here, honestly. So I'm not going to even count that one in my assumption here. This is the one that would probably be in the price range of what I got. Now, again, it doesn't look like there's anything, no back. Unmounted vintage album print without photograph credits. So no credits, no information, nothing whatsoever on this one. Nothing at all. So again, I have documentation on mine, which without a doubt gives me information on who it is, what it is, and the whole works. So I can tie it together. So mine is actually a CDV. This is just a thin piece of printout photo paper, basically. That's what this means. That's what this one literally is. So again, I'm thinking the one I have, I'm going to put like $950 on it. Believe it or not. It may sell for that. This one has so much information on it. Someone could probably tell me who this was and then be able to track down this Katani person from Fukagawa and be able to tie it to actually a person who would have lived near him, this missionary, this American missionary or British missionary, whichever the case may be. Obviously, an English-speaking person who wrote in English. So obviously it limits it down greatly. And again, it's somebody who knew this Mr. Batchelor because they talk of him like it's, you know, just a known person. So again, this is rather interesting. So I'm thinking $950 on this based on the fact that none of the other images up online at all have any information, context, or anything along that line. Provenance. This has a provenance. This has key information. This is obviously vintage. This has obviously been written on it in the 1900 or before time frame. So this is key. So that's what I have with this today. Hopefully that gave you some thoughts on my process, how I figured this out, what this is, and my value on it as well. Again, $15 as you see it is what I paid for it.
Well, there you go. Again, key item here. This is just one item I got this week, and I've showed some other items. I showed you an Elvis autograph and some other things. stuff like this shows up. This is what I find. This is an odd item. You know, most people wouldn't think much of it. You know, I was hoping it might have been a samurai or something like that, but this is probably better than that to some extent because this is a little rare and it has more information on it. But anyway, that's what I have for you today. Hopefully that gave you a real neat look at something historic, a little grasp on my thought process, why I like what I do, and why I really enjoy selling this type of item. But that's what I have for you today. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified when I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell a friend.